Australian bishop stabbed in terrorist attack by radicalized teen. In a disturbing event that has gripped Australia, a 16-year-old boy launched a violent attack inside the Assyrian Christ the Good Shepherd Church in Wakeley, a suburb of Sydney. During a mass that was being live streamed on April 15th, the teenager attempted to fatally stab Bishop Mar Mari Emmanuel and Reverend Isaac Royal. Four individuals, including those two clerics, sustained injuries classified as non-life threatening. The attack, which was being broadcasted on the church's social media, saw the assailant vocalizing his motives in Arabic, saying, quote, "If they didn't insult my prophet, I wouldn't have come here. If he didn't involve himself in my religion, I would not have come here." The incident not only caused panic among the attendees, but also incited significant unrest and violent confrontations between the community and the police outside the church. This led to injuries among the police officers and the destruction of police vehicles. The New South Wales Police Force, through Commissioner Karen Webb, labeled the incident a religiously motivated terrorist attack, which has sparked debate among community leaders regarding the implications of such a classification. This act of violence has left the community and followers online in a state of shock and mourning, further emphasized by a vigil held for the recovering clerics, with the church urging prayers for both the victims and the perpetrator. So, this was a very huge, high profile attack that happened within this past week. And basically, and this happened within 6 days of this horrific knife attack that happened in Australia, which is one of the worst like mass killing events that they've had in years. The one that had happened, preceding this attack was like 6 people were killed in a mall. And so far, that attack is not being considered as a terrorist attack, but this attack is. And people feel like that's controversial or something, but I can explain why that totally makes sense in a second. So basically, let me give you some background. So Bishop Mar Marty Emmanuel is a bishop in the Assyrian church, and he has like a controversial kind of uh reputation because he was very against like COVID um regulations. Um, he there I don't know how to put this. Within the realm of Christian orthodoxy, there's a certain vein or flavor of Christian orthodoxy, whether it's Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox, like like where they are very against Western degeneracy, as they would say. They're very against like liberal interpretations of Christianity. And so sometimes they kind of like align with authoritarian regimes. I'm not saying that this guy explicitly did, but he kind of fits within that flavor because he's like very anti-LGBT. Um, and he was recently coming into a bit of attention and praise because he was being very pro Gaza and talking against like the actions of Israel and stuff. And so that's just a little bit of background. Frankly, I don't really care that much about those opinions. So what got him into trouble, so to speak, is that he has been openly criticizing Islam from his pulpit and in public appearances for some time now. So, for example, he went on the Patrick Bet David podcast and was openly criticizing Islam. The Patrick Bet David podcast is one, what is it, Valuetainment? Like it's a huge podcast, very significant, influential podcast. And he criticizes a lot of Muslim doctrine surrounding Jesus. He criticizes the Muslim interpretation of Jesus. Um, he's given sermons lambasting Andrew Tate for converting to Islam and saying because Andrew Tate was basically saying that Christianity is weak and that's part of why he converted to Islam. And this dude was roasting him, trying to like explain why Christianity isn't weak, all these things. So in doing this, he's like openly criticizing the Islamic understanding of the Prophet Isa in ways that from an Islamic understanding are considered blasphemy, because he
Wow.
continues to reassert that Christ is God, which is blasphemous from this perspective. And this bishop, even in I was watching some of his videos in which he criticizes Islam, and he goes on to talk about how his argument is that the Quran and Islamic text and the Prophet Muhammad himself acknowledges that Jesus is God. That's his argument. He's saying that Islam acknowledges that Jesus is God. You guys are totally confused. You don't understand, blah blah blah. So that's kind of like his history of kind of being put on the spotlight because of these things. And presumably because of that, this kid went and stabbed him. In the videos of this attack happening, this was being live streamed when it happened. So within like almost 30 minutes of this happening, I was seeing videos of the attack on Twitter. Obviously, we can't show that. It's really horrific. He was stabbed in the chest repeatedly. Other people who literally just sprung up to go defend the bishop, and the priests were also received pretty heavy injuries. Um, there were some reports. There was a rumor that the attacker's finger got cut off in revenge, um, in the process of him being restrained during this attack. I don't know how much of that is true. Um, but this was and then what happened is that very quickly, because this was live streamed, people knew that it happened immediately. So then a crowd of 50 to 100 people immediately descended on the church and started rioting while the perpetrator was still inside the church, to the point that the police had to barricade the perpetrator inside the church, um, because people were rioting outside. They were so because of what just happened. And a number of police officers were injured by the mob that immediately gathered outside afterwards. So then that's becoming its own separate investigation for these people that attacked the police after this event. Um, and some people
They
are
wanted to
saying,
hurt the they wanted to hurt the attacker. That's what they wanted to do
yeah, yeah.
before he's get. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Crazy.
And I read an article published in The Guardian, of course, who else? Um, and this was an opinion piece written by the secretary of the Lebanese Muslim Society of Australia, which is the group that has the oldest mosque in Australia. And basically, this guy was writing saying that the authorities declared this a terrorist attack within 18 hours of this attack, and that it's like totally wrong to declare it a terrorist attack that soon. And I think that that's like totally absurd. The Australian standard for what is considered a terrorist attack is pretty simple. It is an attack with religious or political motivations that is intended for intimidation. Pretty not that hard to grasp. When this person is telling you, if he didn't insult my prophet, I wouldn't have gotten involved. If he didn't get involved in my religion, I wouldn't have gotten involved with his, and stabbed someone while it's being live broadcast.
That's
It
pretty straightforward.
100% fits all of that criteria. And so
Right.
people are like, and I understand that, like the reports from the parents or the mom of this kid are being like, how could you declare it a terrorist? She has her own emotions tied into this. It's her child, right? Being like, how could you declare it a terrorist attack so fast? Why is this declared a terrorist attack? And the one that killed more people actually killed people. This attack was not fatal, is not being declared a terrorist attack. It's simple because the other knife attack that happened a few days prior, that did kill several people, those brutal and horrific. So far, they have not identified any political or religious motivations with the intention for intimidation. So far. So therefore, by their definition, that is not a terrorist attack yet, but this is. So it's like that is one point where I'm like, it is absolutely ridiculous to try to like feign discrimination. Give me a freaking break. It's like sometimes people just think that we're dumb. I don't even get it. But so people absolutely freaked out about this, and there were firebombing threats that were declared on mosques around Sydney. So obviously that's completely like intolerable and condemnable.
Right.
But to say that tensions have been raised within Australia would be an understatement.
So just to be clear, what was the specific thing that he found offensive about what the
Well,
bishop had said?
what reporting is saying, again,
Mhm.
the reporting that I have read is saying that he was quoted as saying, "If they didn't insult my prophet, I wouldn't have come here. If he didn't involve himself in
But
my religion, I would not have come here."
yes.
And then going back through his statements, people find clips and videos of him. We could maybe take a guess at what those offensive statements might have been
Hmm.
based on his past
Okay.
sermons or public appearances.
So we're not. It's not. We don't know exactly what specifically he found offensive. That's not yet. We're not sure. Okay.
No.
Good to know.
Um,
By the way, I found a way to show more of the article when I'm sharing the screen. This is so good. Like
oh,
wow.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
So it's not just the top part.
the
Next.
other thing is that there are reports that before the bishop was even pulled out of the building, he was, like, already, like, saying that he was, like, praying for his perpetrator and already saying that he had forgiven his perpetrator,
Oh my god.
and
Oh,
that
the
he was
Christians are
like,
gonna love that.
"Oh, yeah."
That's such a. The Christians are gonna. Oof, they're going to. Oh my god. They're going to.
The way you said, "Ooh,
They're going. Oh, they're gonna
oh."
pleasure themselves thinking about that. Oh, and another Christian forgiving the person who attacked them. Oh my God, we have the best religion. By the way, that's insane. Okay, that is insane. That is not good. That is not wholesome. Okay, these people don't deserve forgiveness. These people need to be punished. Like you don't forgive people who commit acts of violence, praying for them. Like that might sound like very beautiful and loving, but is insanity. Okay, it is. Anyways, is there some comments that you want to
Oh,
highlight?
oh, did we already say that Bonner Muscle became a new YouTube member? If not,
Yes, we
welcome to
did.
Satan's Minions. Beatrice
Oh,
also
welcome again.
became a new member. Welcome to Satan's Minions. Wonderful. Use your new emojis. And all colors are entombed in black gave a super chat. Thank you, saying, I've read Eric Vogel's, I don't know how to say this. No, 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 I can't read. Vogelin's, my dyslexia is giving me a hard time right now.
No,
Modern
nobody did that.
Gnosticism,
What do you talk?
and
Yeah, you don't need
discovered
to.
that I've read it Modern Gnosticism and discovered what's the religion of the woke mob. Holy cow.
Okay.
Interesting. I might have to look into that.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube? Blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.